What's up, my Clemson Tiger fans, my East Carolina fellow alums, Fayetteville State University fellow alums, uh, HBCU uh, fans, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? How y'all doing tonight? All right. What I want to talk about tonight is what happened to Clemson football after Danny Ford left. What happened to them? Um, in the 80s, Clemson ran roughshod over the ACC. Outside of 1980 and I believe 85, 86, Clemson won the ACC. 89 to Duke of Virginia won it. Um, some people say Maryland won it 3 times, but if you remember, that's when Clemson was on probation. They finished undefeated in the ACC that year. 1990, 1991, Clemson was still pretty good under Ken Hatfield, who took Danny Ford's place, who left because of his recruiting violations. There are 3 reasons why I believe Clemson failed in the 90s. After like 1991, 92 is really when that 7-year window went. When Florida State joined the conference, that Clemson fell on hard times. One reason why is Florida State. Florida State came into the conference very, very talented. They was on a rise from 1987 to 1992. They were pretty good. Everybody know the story about Florida State. From 87 to 99, they finished in the top 5. That's one of the reasons why Clemson fell, because of them. Florida State came in the conference, better talent, better coaching, more updated offense. If you go back and look at Clemson, that first year, they only beat Clemson 24-17 in 92, but they finished what did Clemson finish that year? 5 and 6, I believe. Second reason, lack of change on offense. Clemson still putting players in the pros, but I'm about to show you something. Clemson put like Anthony Simmons, 99. I believe he played with the Saints. Antoine Edwards, 98. Trevor Price, 97. Dexter McCleon with the Rams. Patrick Simpson. You know, he was a former quarterback. He was in the pros. He moved to linebacker. Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer. Betsy Butner. Chester McLaughlin. Wayne Simmons. LeVon Kirtland. And the reason why I bring them up, because if you notice, there's no offensive players in there. The 1987, Terrence Ferguson and Kenny Flowers went first round, and Kenny Flowers went second round. Those were Clemson's last 2 offensive players to go in the draft outside Doug Thomas, a 91 receiver, and Raymond Priester, 5th round pick in 98. So Clemson not changing their offense really hurt them. Under Kent Hatfield, after 91, they reverted back to running the wishbone offense. And not until Ron Garner in 2001 did Clemson have an offensive player drafted in the NFL as a first-round pick? But it had a lot of defensive talent. I'll give you an example. Let's see. Where my paper at? I'll show you some statistics. Anyway, Clemson at that time was very, very poor on offense. Oh, here you go. I can't read my own handwriting. That's crazy. 91, they averaged 26 points a game. 92, Florida State enters the ACC. Clemson averages 23 points a game, whereas Florida State is averaging like 37 points a game. 93, Clemson is averaging 16.5 a game, and Florida State's averaging 41.2 a game. To get my drift, pretty much Clemson on offense wasn't very good. 95, 25 points a game. Florida State was averaging 46 points a game. 96, 20 points a game, whereas Florida State was averaging 37 points a game. 97, Clemson was averaging 24 points a game, whereas Florida State was averaging like 39 points a game. It goes on and on. Clemson, 98, 19 points a game, where Florida State was averaging like 30 points a game. Clemson only passed in 98 for 184 yards per game, rushing 104. 97, 91.6 per game, 96, 136 yards per game, rushing for 198 per game that year. They finished 7-5. When they finished 8-4 in 95, they was averaging 134 points a game passing, 254 rushing, 94, 5-6, 98.5 per game, 193 yards rushing. Well, remember what Ken Hatfield did? They went back to running the wishbone. Then when Tommy West came in and took over, I think they were running an I can't really remember. But my point is they didn't change their offense. You saw Miami, Florida State, more going to passing, even Tennessee with Peyton Manning. So they weren't recruiting good offensive talent at that time, but it was recruiting good defensive talent by the numbers, by the players I showed you that they had go first and second round picks in the draft throughout the 90s. So they had the defensive talent, but they ain't had the offensive talent. Another reason why I think Clemson fell off, the rise of Matt Brown and UNC and UVA with George Walsh. If you look back then, when Clemson started to fall off in 92 and Carolina took off, Carolina was 9-3 in 92, 93, 10-3 that year, 1994, 8-4, 1995, 7-5, 1996, 10-2, 1997, 11-1. They beat Clemson in 97, 17-10, 96, 45-0. Clemson beat them in 10-17, 94, 8-4. Carolina was, and they beat Clemson 28-17. 93, Carolina beat Clemson 24-0. And 92, Clemson beat UNC 7-4, 40. And then you saw, like I said, UVA also. I mean, they were average, but they were 9-3 and 92. 7-5, 97, 96, 7-5, 95, 94, 93, and 94. The reason why I bring that up, Clemson was 2-5 versus UVA, 2-5 versus Carolina. South Carolina is a very small state. You just look at last year's team with Dexter Lawrence. Came from the state of North Carolina. Cleveland Farrell, he was from Virginia. Go throughout Clemson history. A lot of Clemson best players come from outside the state of North Carolina. Homer Jordan from Georgia. Deshaun Watson from Georgia. Trevor Lawrence, Georgia. Who else you want to go with? Sammy Watkins, Florida. I don't know where Andre Hopkins is from. Just most of their greatest players. Kerry Tittles from North Carolina. Jeff Davis from North Carolina. A lot of Florida players. So what my point is about bringing up the rise of Carolina and UVA at that time, Matt Brown did a good job of keeping a lot of their players in North Carolina and not coming down to Clemson. Perfect example, Julius Peppers. He's from Canapsey, which is outside of Charlotte. And that's a Clemson hotbed. Usually Clemson and Georgia get the best players out of Charlotte. But Matt Brown did a great job of getting those guys to come to Clemson. Ronald Curry, one of the best high school athletes ever, went to came down between UVA and UNC, and look where they went. He went to Carolina. That's another person that probably would have went to Clemson, like if he was playing today or back in the day. If you want more proof of this, look at the 1970s. UNC had dominated the ACC, and Maryland did too. That means that Clemson wasn't getting more players out of those North Carolina and Maryland areas. It wasn't to peak, and Ford came along and they were doing their thing by getting some of these players to come along to Clemson. So what I'm saying is that those are some of the reasons why Clemson had issues in the 90s. I think they won a conference in 91. I think they beat Illinois that year, but that was their last great run until, Boughton came along in 2001 maybe, or 2000. That was Clemson's last great run before what we're seeing now was that 91 team. And that you heard me talk about it before. I believe Clemson could have won the national championship in 91 because we beat Illinois, but we lost to Virginia and Georgia Tech, which killed all of that. But Illinois is the only team to beat Colorado that year, and they won a Big Ten, I believe, that year. And we destroyed them. So I thought that team was good enough to win a national championship. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But my point is, the three reasons why I believe Clemson failed in the 90s, the rise of Carolina and UVA, Florida State entering the conference, and lack of changing offenses. Y'all have a good night. Go Tigers. We put some Pittsburgh Steelers and East Carolina and Fayetteville State material out, some HBC history out too. Y'all have a great night.